Hey, hey, hey. Thank y'all for coming out and joining us on another episode of Melanated and Candid's The Color of Truth. Hey, before we get started and talking about music, sports, and its influence on our community, I am going to introduce my lovely co-host. Hi, ladies. How are you today?
What's up? Enjoying this cold weather.
Huh?
I'm so upset that you saying it's so funny because you know what? When I was over, we had went to Pittsburgh to go and see the game, the Steelers and the Saints. And while we were there, we met a couple who was from Texas, and that was the first thing out their mouth.
Hey,
Yes,
in Texas, when you had 40 days over 100, you look forward to the wintertime.
they were so excited. I started laughing because all I thought about was you.
Right.
Yes,
ma'am.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I couldn't wait to put on my London fog.
Oh my God. I mean, I did kind of miss the boots, but I did not. It's cold here. Okay. Y'all
Yeah, it got cold quick.
our cold is not the same. Okay.
But our cold got cold quick. It was like 70, 30.
And then it was snow. Like
70, 30 snow. Like, who in the hell invented this? Who
I'm jealous.
asked for this shit? Wait a minute. Then you got hail some spots. You got rain some spots. You got who in the hell asked for all 4 seasons in one day? Because Ohio will give it to you. Just all in one day. Put everything to you. All 4. You be like, dang, wait a minute.
Every time. Do you hear me? No place like Ohio.
Yeah, I don't know how you. I mean, I guess since you there, you cool. Here, I'm cold. I'm freezing, and I'm so ready for a break. Like, when's the vacation? Like, wait a minute. When we get out of school? Like, when is we done? Do we get a break?
That's what the fireplace is for.
Okay, true point. Do we
couldn't
get a break
wait.
with these kids though?
I'm just saying I couldn't wait to light my fireplace. Oh my goodness, I could not wait to light my fireplace. It's already been lit twice this year.
Dang, already. Sheesh.
Look at that.
Because it's cheaper than running
Oh,
the heater.
way cheaper than rent. Yeah, way
Of course,
cheaper.
that's why I loved my fireplace back in the day. Like, whoo, honey.
Yeah, because I don't keep my heat up high anyway. I don't like heat blowing on me. So if I'm chilly, I'll light the fire, light a couple of logs, and I'm straight.
You got a straight log, like real
straight
log
wood
fire?
burning. Straight wood burning.
Yes.
The best. That's the best right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Something about that wood crackling.
Yes, that's what it is. It's the wood crackling.
It feels so good. It makes you feel so good and warm and comfy. Okay, you making me feel good about the cold.
You had a moment.
I did.
Right. Monica had a wine and everything. Hey.
I did. I got excited real quick.
Do you need to go check yourself?
It was nice. It was nice, you know. No, I'm a marinate in this, okay? Thank you.
Right. She said I would say something else. I'm marinating now.
Matter of fact, we need to get on top of before
so
we
let
get
me
out of
tell
control.
you, what about this? We're gonna get started.
Yeah, because Roxy's about to get out of control.
I'm not. It's not even time yet. It's not past 11. I'm still good.
Oh Lord, yeah, it's getting close. So that being said,
did she say
what JLE call it? Demon time?
What's that? 11?
The late night.
Okay.
Oh, watch me, you. Who that?
So.
Oh, I had.
What's the other one?
Can y'all see this?
Yeah, it's playing something.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it had started yet or not.
The dark and secret.
Wait a minute. Before it gets started, it's just a video. Wait a minute. This is a video where this record executive basically exposed the music industry after what happened with Takeoff and how he passed away suddenly. And I'm hearing all kinds of different stories about what happened to him and how he passed away. they're saying that it was a sacrifice and that somebody set him up. All kinds of different stories about what actually happened to him. So apparently the music industry isn't all that we think it is. It's not all glitter and gold. And this executive definitely breaks it down for us. So I'm going to get this started real quick. I'm not even about to go back these 8 seconds, y'all, okay?
Secret truth about what really happens in the music industry and how all these rappers keep dying. And look, I've been trying to tell y'all that the music game is one of the dirtiest games you could be in. But if you don't want to believe me, hear it for yourself from a former music industry executive. Let's check it out.
Hey guys, in light of seeing that a rapper from Migos died, I just wanted to go ahead and make a video about something I have a unique experience in. So I directed a bunch of rappers, people like Gucci Mane, Snoop Dogg, Lil Yachty, the list goes on and on and on, okay? I learned a lot of things, and I have left the industry largely over my political beliefs, but there is something I want to impart to people to hopefully, make some sort of change happen.
Okay, wait a minute, though, real quick. What do his political beliefs have to do with the music industry? Like, how does that correlate one thing to another? I'm not sure. I guess he's going to explain that to us in a second, and we'll find out.
Everything is political. Y'all be crazy and a half if you don't.
Hollywood definitely is.
Yeah. It's you know what I'm saying.
Well, go ahead, Rox. What was the question?
Oh, no, I was just asking what...
So I have a challenge to rappers, and I know some of you still follow me.
Wait a minute. I was just asking what his... because he said that he stopped being a record executive due to his political position. So...
Oh, because it's in the article that I sent you.
Okay. So what I'm getting ready to do is...
I know a bunch of the celebrity blogs still follow me from trying to get news from music videos and things like that. So here's the truth. The truth is this. A bunch of young black male rappers keep dying. You know who's not dying? Record executives. The record executives that push for them to continue to make songs and create a culture that is obsessed with death, drugs, and sex. Period.
Facts.
That's nothing. That's not nobody. That ain't new. We
know
that.
It's not new, but the fact that this is an actual ex producer director, the fact that it's actually coming from somebody who was in the industry, because it's one thing for me to say it. If I say it, I'm a conspiracy theorist because I don't work in that industry. How do I know everything I'm saying? I'm just making up. I mean, that's what they say.
But even the ones that actually have, but even the ones that have stated it in the music industry, they end up what? Exactly.
Hey, if he end up deleted anytime soon.
I'm just saying, like, it's been told like more than once. Like, honestly, the same thing that he's probably about to spit out his mouth, the same thing has been told from actual rappers, actual artists. They're no longer living.
Yeah, but that's still conspiracy theorists even coming from them, or it's stories that they can wash under the rug, or they can give you another highlight story so that you forget about this one.
Anybody to make you believe unmelanated people, pretty much. You got unmelanated people talking about it versus the melanated people. I understand.
No. We're talking about somebody who financially benefited from that environment, speaking out against it. That's different.
Right. But someone who was also living in it as well should be able to have the same kind of truth as if the one that's managing it. Am I correct? Are you saying no, they should not?
Hold on, what was the question?
No, it just holds a different level of weight, I think is the point of it all. It just holds a different level of weight when somebody who was actually making money from it comes out and they expose the whole show. It makes it more credible versus somebody who was living a life and they could actually be, people get upset. They don't like something that happened in the situation.
Right.
And they change the story around.
It's an allegation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did the man say? What do you have to say? My bad.
Oh no, you good. So what I'm
But yeah,
I'm getting ready to pull the actual article. I'm pulling the actual article up to
because
go along.
according to him, what was crazy was he had a coming out the closet moment, but it had nothing to do with the LGBTQ community. It had everything to do with him coming out as a Republican and how they kind of frowned upon that. So that sounds to me like the DNC has their hands in the Hollywood pot.
But
which is exactly why I asked that question.
Already had their hands in the pot. They're the ones that do the school educational system. They're the ones that do so many other things. And so, I mean, go ahead.
All right, so record executive, director, producer issues challenge to rappers to challenge the culture that's been having the industry using you for a long time. In the aftermath of the tragic death of Migos rapper Takeoff, he was shot and killed in Houston on November 1st. Many industry figures have taken to their platforms calling for an end to the senseless violence that has taken the lives of an alarming amount of rising rap stars. Recently, former music video director Robert Robbie Starbuck stepped out of the hip-hop shadows with the challenge for all rappers. Starbuck, who happens to be a Republican candidate currently running for Congress in Tennessee, and they gypped him out of that too, said he decided to create a nearly 4.5-minute long video after seeing news of the Atlanta native's death before introducing himself as the man behind the visual from the various rappers, including Gucci Mane, Snoop Dogg, Lil Yachty, and more.
Question though. So do you think that was coincidental? Because I feel like soon as all of this stuff happened, right before they're getting ready to do the election, he decides to come out, and now he doesn't have a shot.
Hey, a lot of it is a funny coincidence to me.
Funny.
So, but yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. According to why he got gypped out of that, they were right in doing so. But because they were initially wrong, that should have never been the case in the first place, because they were initially wrong, because he originally had an appeal for a verdict because of what they did, and he won. What happened was the Supreme Court overturned that. So the former director said, "I learned a lot of things. Before nothing, he left the industry over his political beliefs. But there is something I want to impart in people, hopefully make some sort of change happen. So I have a challenge to rappers," he continued. "Here's the truth. The truth is this. A bunch of young Black male rappers keep dying. You know who's not dying? Record executives." And he's right about that. Because there's been quite a few of them just this year.
A lot.
Right. You want to take it, Rox?
Yeah, so Starbuck went on to claim that these executives push for rappers to continue to make songs and create a culture that's obsessed with death, drugs, and sex. He went on to highlight that the higher-ups aren't suffering from violent deaths because they aren't pushing that behavior on their own people, but they're encouraging you to push it onto yours.
And I've always said that. And that's the same problem I have with Lizzo being front and center of Black women. It's the message that's being portrayed. It's the constant reminder that you can be this way, and everything is supposed to be 100% okay, 100% acceptable. We're supposed to accept the fact that it's okay for people. I understand that people have different body types. I get all that. But that has nothing to do with pushing an unhealthy agenda. So I agree with that. And there are a lot of different cultures that are pushed. Just like in '95 when the crime bill came out. How many movies were there about Black drug dealers? You got your New Jack Cities, you got your it was so many of those movies and TV shows that came out during that time. It was almost like that behavior was glorified.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden there's an uptick in Black arrests when it comes to drug possessions.
The problem for me with that whole situation, though, is we ain't the ones that's bringing the drugs in. So
that's my problem. Because my thing is this: if you're going to arrest me and give me time, not only do you have to come after me, but you have to go after that man who's driving that boat and that plane, because we don't have nothing to do with how that's getting over here, and nothing to do with how it's getting in our neighborhoods. It's just conveniently showing up in our neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
And
And by the
nowhere
time it
else.
got over to me, it wasn't even worth the $10
Right.
that I'm selling
But you
it
know
for.
what? And it's not that the other communities don't use it. You know what they do? They drive down to the Black community to get it, and then they go about their business. But you don't, that for some reason, it's not heavily distributed in their communities or not
No,
heavily available.
they're not pushing that agenda in their community. Just like Starbucks said, these are things that they push onto us in our community and have us faking the funk, acting like we happy in our lives,
Right.
and we. He went on to say that there was people that he represented that he seen physically that couldn't even be themselves throughout the day because they had to put on this persona of being a thug or being tough or being hardcore when that wasn't the person that they woke up as every day.
And you know what? The fact that boys are raised to be strong and tough and not cry anyway, I could see how being raised that way and witnessing um, hip hop culture for the violence that they displayed or for the drugs that they displayed, for everything negative that was portrayed in Black culture. I could see how easy it would be for a young guy who didn't have the best of schools available or opportunities. I could see how easy it would be to fall into that cycle, because in all honesty, aren't you a product of your environment?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for sure. A lot of things in this day and age have taught me that for sure, especially looking at the way these kids are coming up versus the way
That's
that we came up.
and that's why their environment don't look like our environment, because you are a product of it.
Man, you got 12, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds always talking about shooting, bang, bang. They just, oh, Lord Jesus, that's all they talk about. It's just disrespectful, crazy stuff. You like, what? Who let you listen to that? Why are they allowing you to listen to that? There is nothing that they saying is good. It don't say that's your homie, that's your brother. It's pretty much keep your enemies. What they say? Keep your enemies. What they say? Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer. Something like that. Man, that's exactly what they doing. They like, forget it. Shoot your enemy and shoot your homies too. Shoot them all.
I tell people all the time, you should always study your enemy. Always.
But why do
These
you have
people out
one?
here don't
How
even
do
know
you
what
all of a sudden have one?
I'm just saying, anybody in opposition to you, you need to understand how they moving.
How? How do you have one? You got one because of a color.
You don't hold on. You don't have to have one. You don't have to have one because you personally did something to somebody else. There are reasons why people dislike you. That a lot of it has to do with misunderstanding. So it's not that you can't have an enemy because you're not a bad person. Good people have enemies all day long. According to the Bible, Jesus had enemies.
Right. People don't like you because
everybody got a hater. Everybody got, matter of fact, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't doing shit.
That part for some reason or no reason at all. I'm telling you, that's why I was upset about that little girl. We ain't gonna get started on that because I want to have this conversation about what about your friends? These little fake that could have been my child.
Yeah, we could definitely have that conversation next time. But go on ahead with the one time. What the man say about the rest of the
all right.
So he basically said that the industry was a toxic place filled with pawns who do the bidding of the elite to manipulate and transform society. So the music industry is something that they are utilizing in order to be able to transform and manipulate our people and then get us to do things that we wouldn't normally do.
Right. And you know what's sad about that is, what are the two biggest dreams in the Black community? What are we pushing down our boys' throats?
To be a star,
football,
be a sports star.
Right. Football, basketball, rapper.
Where somebody else is controlling their life.
Rapper in the music industry.
Somebody controlling your life, telling you how to live your life.
Mm-hmm. And then they said they allow it in the artists and the musicians, but they don't let their kids subscribe to that culture.
Right. There are a lot of celebrities that actually film, and they say they don't let their children watch what they film. But everybody else is eating it up like entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Then you wonder why.
But yeah, people But that's true though. Everything that you absorb has an impact on your mentality, and what you watch, you absorb mentally.
That's
So
true.
yeah, those different lifestyles are pushing the environment. But yeah, and it was a lot of it. It was glorified almost
Even if
to the
it's not
point that it was right. If you weren't gangster, something was wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's
You
a
got
lot
the
of
boys in
things
the
that
hood. There were so many gang and drug affiliated movies that were out during that time. And we
mhm,
were eating it up like entertainment, not realizing that we were being conditioned or that we were being influenced or that we were actually absorbing this energy that we kept taking in every time we went to the movies, every time we bought an album. Because most people can't differentiate reality from fiction. We're witnessing that today with this whole,
Mm-hmm.
that
yeah,
part.
that being said.
And sometimes,
Um,
even if they do, some stuff is just unintentional. If you around it enough, you're gonna eventually take part in it or do it, even whether it's intentional or not.
right.
So it's kind of a catch-22 situation. You are what they say you are what you eat or what you exposed to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But look at what they go through. Look at some of the untimely deletions. Look at Michael Jackson's deletion.
Right.
That was man.
No,
Prince,
I mean,
I was uncomfortable with Prince.
so I don't know.
I don't know. Prince was kind of all of a sudden for me.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what happened with that.
That was too quick for me. I was like, dang, for
took
real?
my guy out, ruffles and all. Just
Okay, not just that. The arrest. Look at Bill Cosby. Every time.
Yeah, that was shocking.
Right. So when you have artists, because Michael Jackson actually owned half of Sony when he conveniently passed away.
Disappeared.
So anytime they get to a certain level of status where they have ownership or say, it's just mighty funny how they conveniently go away, either via grave or via jail.
reputation or reputation. Which
Right.
is what we're
I
dealing
feel
with
like
right
that's
now
what
when it
got
comes
Bill
to
Cosby.
yeah. But okay, so he did that. I ain't even go. Bill Cosby
Hold on.
That's the point. They did it too.
Hold on. So you mean to tell me now the chick that I witnessed had the audacity to say that she went to his house or wherever they went, he offered her appeal.
Right.
She took it because it was Bill Cosby.
Yep.
I said, well, hold on.
She asked for it.
You the fool. Because my mother cannot hand me a pill without me asking her what the hell is this for.
Period.
on everything.
I'm not going to swallow. You can't just hand me a pill. My doctor cannot prescribe me medication that I don't research the side effects of.
Exactly.
He was desperately deciding to pollute my body with that nonsense.
But no, this is Bill Cosby.
I don't give a damn. Hold on. That means your parents didn't teach you stranger danger, because I don't care how much you watch him on TV. You don't know that man.
You don't know
You
him.
don't know him, the man. You know him, the TV character from the Cosby Show, from his stand-up comedy.
No, he is the Cosby Show. That is Dr.
That is cool.
Huxtable.
That is cool. You might even know the Cosby Show, but common sense to tell you.
But you don't know the man.
Common sense to tell you no. Why would you? First of all, what time is it? Second of all, you know what time it is, so you know what you asked for during this time, because every mother done told that young lady.
They wanted it. Okay?
You just can't offer me medication. I'm just saying, you can't offer me medication and I happily accept it and swallow it. There is no
at
way.
all.
Did you see who he was offering the medicine to? Did you see those 50, 60 women that he...
Exactly. Say it again.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, and every last one of them took the pill. Oh, Bill!
Exactly. I was like, oh, wow. Wait a minute, y'all. Y'all tripping.
Like, come on now. Y'all knew what y'all was doing with Mr. Cosby. Y'all knew what
I feel like that was just
all of them.
They got a little aggressive. But I know he did it. But I don't feel like it was malicious. I feel like it was agreeable. He shouldn't have been in trouble for it, because they shouldn't have went with it.
And they agreed.
Like, y'all wrong. Come on now.
No,
Stop playing with
I
me.
don't think he didn't not have relations with those women, but I still don't think you get to fault him when you voluntarily took a pill. I don't give a damn who it is. You don't know that man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It was some of the other little violent Debo stuff about it for me. That's all. You know, the
Everybody got a
domestic
story to
violence.
it.
It's just that he had a little darkness to him.
Yeah, he did.
Stuff that you
He
wouldn't
did. But
expect
my
from
thing
Dr.
is, why are
Players.
you there? Why you there? Why you go there? You was asking for something at the time that you went. There was no reason in the world you're gonna go over there at a certain time and thinking everything is gonna be peachy and cool. Oh yay, we're just gonna man. Anytime the opposite sex is looking for something, I don't understand. You know the game, and if you didn't know, now you know, because that's just what it is. That's just always what it been. What it is. You don't put yourself in situations. Period. Don't put yourself in
I
situations.
think that these kind of stories all of those build us up as a community just to break us back down for real. The influence may start out as something that's positive, that's something that, oh, we need leadership, or we need role models like Mr. Cosby in our community. But then when they do something that the community doesn't like, then it becomes a problem. And some of them end up getting deleted as a result of it.
Okay, my thing is this. Do any one of y'all think that anybody in Hollywood doesn't have a story to tell
They all do.
about how they got there?
I don't know. I think that some stories is just worse than others. That's all. Some stories just worse than others.
You know what?
I think some people did more.
Just like porn stars. The majority of female porn stars are likely people who went to California chasing a dream. Somebody told them, you know what, you're not good for this part, but let me introduce you to somebody. If you don't mind, taking off your top, we can get you a part over here. Then that turned into, well, if you don't mind taking off your bottom, we can get you in a part over here. But everybody over there is trying to make it, and you keep reducing yourself lower and lower and lower, thinking you're going to get yourself higher, and that's not what's happening. I guarantee you, a lot of those girls didn't go there to be in porn.
I believe it, as well as there's a lot of girls. There's actually one that I just read about. She was actually in, was it Boy Meets World or not Clueless? It was in one of those little she was in one of those
little girl
shows with the red hair. It's some young lady, some unmelanated young lady. She said that she got paid more doing porn than what she got paid doing TV shows and all that. And she was on a good TV show, and she said she left doing TV to go do porn. Like said it loud and clear. I make more money.
Of course, sex sales.
Hey, I ain't never gonna say it ain't something that they thoroughly enjoy. There are some in there that thoroughly enjoy it. They went there for that. Trust me. I know. Hey, just like when they were talking about changing the language, and it was like they wanted to get rid of the N word, and they wanted to start calling women B's, and they said they wanted to give up the H word. I was like, hold up. I'm with you on the N's and the B's. It's always gonna be hoes. I don't care what nobody says.
Right, say that again.
We're not gonna act like they're not gonna exist. They're always going to exist.
They've been around. They ain't going nowhere.
On the other two, but they're always gonna exist.
If people out here getting paid for showing and exposing their feet,
hello,
then sex is gonna sell, okay?
Right.
Listen, it's got to. If feet sell, sex gotta sell.
I'm mad because it sounds like feet sell.
Right, but yeah, they tend to start running into a lot of
like feet.
Ew.
Then you ain't have to pause like that because I said I like feet. Go ahead. What was you saying?
Right, I was saying something. I forgot what I was gonna say.
She got stuck so that she heard that. Like what?
I forgot what I was gonna say.
She was like, "It is not 11 o'clock. Don't start that stuff. Don't start."
Go on to the next story because I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm not. I'm going to the next story. Okay. Listen, I'm all the way on. I'm all the way on the way.
But yeah, it just seems mighty funny that they always be getting into convenient situations.
I'm mad because we said that at the same time.
Yeah, they be convenient situations, and in all honesty, you look at the Jay-Z's of the world, even the actors of the world, the Denzels and all that, the Chris Rocks and everybody, the comedians, and you think that all these people are rich, they're well paid, but what I think a lot of us fail to realize that rich is so temporary and can be gone overnight. We've witnessed so many of those. You witnessed MC Hammer, rich, gone overnight. So, but we get so caught up in the idea of wanting to be rich that we allow ourselves to be sucked into these contracts where these people actually own who you are, own your name, image, and likeness. And that means they basically tell you, this is what we want you to produce for the most part. You're not going to be free to be free in those environments. But we are the ones that are making them rich because our endorsements, just like the whole Kyrie and Ye situation. So Adidas actually thinks that they're gonna, since Adidas actually owns the design, Ye actually owns the name Yeezy. So Adidas actually thinks that they can sell that design shoe without calling them Yeezys. And they don't realize people didn't buy them because they were Adidas. People bought them because they were Yeezys. So they actually brought them that, what was it, $1 billion a year annually, or was it $2 billion?
Because of his name, not
just because of his
they
name,
were.
not because it was Adidas. How many people walk around bragging about their Adidas? Everybody brag about their Jordans.
What?
Right.
So
name.
every time you go get a celebrity football player, basketball player, rap star to promote your brand, liquor, same thing. Rappers promote liquor. Next thing you know, clubs are selling out.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody benefits off of our influence. But we always getting the shit deals. But I blame a lot of that on us because we're too concerned with trying to get rich, and rich is so temporary. And none of us are thinking about wealth. That means none of us are thinking about our generations. We're only thinking about us. And until you start thinking about future generations, you're never going to build generational wealth. We gotta stop thinking about just me.
That's right. But we always had that crabs in the barrel, me first mentality. That's part of the problem. It's part of the problem.
And that's the thing. Crabs aren't supposed to be in a barrel.
We were talking about Jay-Z. This one right here is another example. Jay-Z was trying to sell his stake in Duce, but Bacardi was trying to give him a lowball offer. Says he was trying to sell it. Apparently, they have a 50-50 partnership. Jay-Z and Bacardi do on the Duce, and he was trying to get them to sell it. Buy the rest of his shares and get himself up out of it. So apparently, Jay-Z tried to go in, negotiate. He want them to buy his portion of his share so that he can get out of it. Duce tell him no. They try to give him a little bitty offer, and then he decided that he was going to make them open up the books and show them all of the financial information about the value of Duce and make sure that he was getting the money that he was entitled to. So basically, they was getting ready to. He the one that's then built the company up. They was getting ready to play.
Of course,
Right.
They
Because
be the
And had it
plan.
not been for Jay-Z, Douce would have been another brown liquor that sat on the shelf that somebody picked up if they wanted to be experimental.
hello.
Oh, for sure.
I'm gonna tell him
Oh,
nobody was buying your stuff until he said what he was drinking. Nobody was drinking gin and juice until who said he was drinking it. I mean, y'all got to pay attention. Like, come on.
right. But did you know that it was that much money in alcohol? Because apparently, George Clooney and Mr. Gerber sold they stake in Casamigos tequila back in 2017 for $1 billion.
Yup. What is that?
$1 billion.
You got to think about, it's not just the club environment. It's any type of function that's not necessarily a child-friendly environment, whether it be any type of outdoor event, concerts, just everything. They're going to have liquor is going to be there.
Yeah,
during COVID-19, liquor stores were selling out. People were stuck in the house with plenty of liquor. Matter of fact, that's when they started allowing the Uber drivers to deliver liquor, because before you couldn't do that. Because you're not supposed to be riding around with open liquor or liquor from a restaurant. You're not allowed to take. If you go to a restaurant to eat, you cannot take that liquor outside of that bar or restaurant. But now they allowed that because everybody was stuck in the house. But yeah, liquor is that important that during the pandemic, this is what y'all was worried about, that they actually had to change the rules so that they could depart with liquor from a restaurant.
Yeah, because they was losing out a lot of money.
Or that the liquor stores could get added to Uber Eats, because that's what happened.
Because nobody could go to a bar. Nobody could get the liquor unless you go to the liquor store, and nobody can go to the bar. So that's why they had to open it up. Like, oh, wait, we are losing money from these little bars, and ain't nobody buying liquor unless they go into the grocery store, going to the liquor store and the grocery store. They can't go out to buy it. So we got to figure out another way.
Yeah. But I would like, I'm not mad at them. I want to see the books too.
Right. On everything. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. You're not about to sell me out.
This is business. This ain't personal. Right. This ain't personal. This business.
I don't care that I'm a billionaire. I don't care about none of that.
Ain't that how they said? This ain't personal. This business, brother. Understand?
Never personal. Just business. Okay?
Right.
And in my line of business, I expect to get paid what I'm worth. I know my worth, and I want it.
I mean, hey, just keep it on the up and up. If you say it's worth $1 billion, you ought to be able to show me that it's worth $1 billion. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So I'm not mad. Not at all.
That's part of them, though. They get you, they bring you in, they use you for everything that you work, and then they throw you away. Like you never at all.
And if they are
same way, they just brought Kyrie in, let him ball out of control, brought Ye in, let him rap till his heart was content, make all this money, and soon as he said something or did something that they did not like, boom, rocked him. There you go. It's time to go.
But Kyrie didn't even say anything.
But they really
Kyrie didn't even say anything though.
No, he didn't.
He literally just posted a video. Didn't even add a caption. He literally said nothing.
And in their mind to get rid of him.
Right. But we make them rich. Or I take that back. We make them wealthy all the time because we chasing rich.
Wealthy.
We chasing rich. And I wish we'll stop chasing rich because we're chasing temporary shit that won't be passed down.
They can't. They gotta get the new everything, man. What you talking about? They gotta get it.
That's their problem. They're too busy worried about today and right now. Right. And those industries know that we are the largest consumers. We are the largest consumer base. We spend the money.
Wonder why
when they want to push something, when they want to push something, they go get a celebrity, they go get a NBA player, a football player to endorse it. Bam, sales up automatically. All the time.
All the time.
So, like I said, had it not been for Jay-Z, Douce would be another brown liquor that sat on the shelf that people just tried just when they wanted to experiment on something new, or because, ooh, this bottle looks pretty. You know, people do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Listen, I'm just the person that's like, ooh, that bottle is so pretty. Can somebody hurry up and drink that alcohol in there so I could get the bottle?
Okay.
Please, hurry
I saw the
up.
bottle just because of the way it looked.
That's it. So
Yeah, just because I'm gonna try something different, because you never know what you might like.
I'm
So
scared.
yeah, but we always making them wealthy, and we think that what we get is so much. You get a $1 million deal, you get a $20 million deal. You think that that's so much, but you're making pennies compared to what they making. And then to be
That's
able
the
to
part.
discard you for having a personal opinion, that just goes back to the fact that they own your name, image, and likeness. And anytime you don't move in their best interest, that's what happens. Because
Delete
they
it.
own your name, image, and likeness. How is that
Replaceable.
how is that any different from slavery? I'm just saying. How is that any different? You gonna do as I say.
Well,
You
no,
gonna do
it's
as I
not.
say.
Look, I was getting ready to say,
You
no,
gonna
they gave
do
you
as
a
I say.
gave you a name, but I guess
Your
they
name
gave
is
you a
Toby,
name
boy.
too. So it don't, yeah.
Hey, they told Kyrie your name's Toby, boy. That's what they told him. When they gave him those lists of this is what you got to do before we let you back in, that was them saying your name is Toby, boy. That's exactly what they said.
Don't call
Now
me that.
fetching step.
That's what that was.
For real. Let's see what they had to say about Kyrie. Nike just traveling. They just traveling. That's my auntie would
Nike
say.
was wrong for
She
that
never
too.
said trifling. That was. Yeah, they was. So they basically said that he was done. Like done. Just throw the man's whole life in the trash.
Yeah, you don't know how he gonna be able to come back from that. Come back from what? He didn't say anything, didn't do anything. Y'all just acting like a bunch of big ass crybabies. Like, oh well, he hurt our feelings. We're done with him. Come on, man. The man didn't do nothing.
Seriously, out of control. They gave him a suspension without pay. But they be having people out here, wonderful people be out here deleting their own kids,
and still getting paid while it's on trial.
They still be getting paid while they going through trial.
Yeah, like what? Y'all still paying him?
They be trafficking children all the time. They be doing all kinds of wild stuff all the time.
Some things never change. We got to do better, man. We have got to do better. They don't respect us or the game at all. Like at all. And I learn more and more about it every day. It's so sad. Like racism is so real, and they say that it don't exist at all. I don't understand. So basically, Nike decided that they were going to, after they took Kyrie in, signed him in 2011 to a deal that was worth $11 million a year. They decided just in 1 week that they were going to suspend the whole relationship, cancel his plans to release the next signature shoe, all because he had tweeted that link to the film that was containing what they consider to be anti-Semitic material. They suspended him for 5 games. Just shut down his whole life. No money, no pay, nothing. And then the comment was Kyrie stepped over the line. It's kind of that simple. It's kind of that simple, really. Okay.
And y'all step on the line saying crazy stuff to folks, but you ain't stepped on no line there.
No, they don't have a line. They don't have. See, that's different. There is no line over there across the street on the other side. All right.
Now stay on your side, then, homie.
Nope.
We don't even have to worry about these lines.
But you know who I'm mad at? The Black community or Black sports players. every black man in the NBA, NFL,
They
all of
let
them.
it rock. They
Because
let it rock.
because in all
This whole
honesty,
team.
every last one of them should have walked off the field. So not only are we the consumer base, but so when it comes to sports, not so much. So when it comes to sports, the black community is like, I think 45% of sales. But when it comes to the talent in sports, we make up 71% of the talent. If every last one of y'all decided to walk off the court or off the field, that's a challenge. I
Mhm.
challenge every last NFL player and every last black NBA player to walk off the court, walk off the field. Because, yeah, one of them do it. He stepped over the line. You see what they're going to do. They're going to crucify him. But we so busy worried about the singular eye that we don't want to be crucified. We don't realize that if we all decide to walk off, they
There
can't
ain't nothing
survive.
they
You will
can
shut
do.
down. You will shut down the NBA and the NFL overnight. We are 71% of the talent.
But
Yeah.
if
But as
all
long as we,
melanated people,
as long
all
as we keep
melanated people
allowing, as
do
long
it.
as we keep watching one get crucified, they're going to continue to crucify one at a time.
It ain't just basketball. It ain't just football. We got baseball. We
Right.
melanated people are in so much. You see why they go across the seas and across the waters to go get our other melanated brothers and sisters go play baseball and all that? Because they like, oh, y'all don't want to play, but we go over here and we can get them and they play. Even though they know how good we are in sport. That's what I'm trying to tell my babies now. Stop thinking about only basketball and football. There is so many other things that we are good at. What is it that you're good at? Oh my God, I just found out that, and I know this is kind of off subject, but yes, I'm giving a shout out to them, so let it be known. GCU actually has a EA Sports schooling for our melanated babies to go to. So you hear about all these unmelanated kids going to school for gaming, and they sit in front of them damn video games, and our kids sit in front of them damn video games, playing them games all damn day. Guess what? Stop having our babies sit there and play it. Now they can go to school. They can go to school for free. They got scholarships and everything. Take their asses over there and get that damn scholarship. They ain't 17 just graduating or 18 just graduating. Show them that they don't have to just be the consumer on the side of that video game. They can make these video games just like they making them. They can get paid to play the video games.
The problem is we don't applaud STEM in the black community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Exactly why I got a STEAM Academy right now, because they do not teach our melanated kids none of that. None of it.
But we don't even, it doesn't matter if they don't teach it. We don't even push it. We would rather our child be a football player than a scholar. We would rather our child run up and down a field than be a historian, be a doctor, be a technician, be an engineer.
I need my babies know how to read.
That's what we would rather do. And that's where we come into the problem where we're at today. And we don't realize how much power we had. And we've never realized how much power we actually had.
And part of the problem with that is we don't realize that those are things that are actually viable things. So most people don't think about going to school to be a plumber or going to school to be an electrician or filling those jobs. They look at those kind of jobs
because your parents
down on those kind of jobs because they think
because your parents putting jerseys on you all your life.
Right, thinking that those aren't going to be beneficial to them at all. But them is jobs that's actually out here making good money. Them $7,520 an hour jobs, okay, that you could actually be making some real good money. Teach them entrepreneurship. I mean, we not even teaching these kids the basic stuff. These kids don't know how to brush their teeth at night before they go to bed, or how to tie their shoes up, or how to spell their name. Like, I mean, it's plenty of different things that's out there that we are not aware of when it comes to our little people.
But you know what? I think that's a problem. I think a lot of that is because of single motherism, because women do not, for the most part, women don't foster their children's talents the way fathers do. And I don't mean that in a bad way. That's just a fact. True. And because a lot of things that children could excel at, mothers tend to not want their children to be too dangerous or take too many risks because that's just how women are. So let's say you see your child on a bicycle popping crazy wheelies and he's falling down. Mothers are going to get into that emotional, oh, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. And in some way, form, or fashion, you have the ability to instill fear in your child when you react in that manner. So what you don't know is this child could have been somebody great in that field. There's a video of a little girl who, I think she's like 4 or 5 years old, and she was driving this little Hot Wheel car, and she was out with her dad. And so when she's driving this car, when I tell you this girl perfectly zoomed into this little tight little parking spot, after her father witnessed that, he went and started getting her all these little trick cars and all this other shit, right? So this girl now could potentially have, the ability to become a race car driver. You know what mama would have said? That's dangerous. Don't do that, because mothers tend to be more safe, and you don't realize that you may be hindering your child's best abilities.
That's true. But I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times it's not offered in our community. Though those are part of those things that they don't offer to us because they don't want us to excel. So you're not going to go into the local community school.
Hold on. But if you want it, you can go get it, because you found out how to go get them Jordans. You found out how to go get an Xbox. You found out how to go get those rims on your car. You found out how to get a lot of shit.
That's true. But if you don't know that it exists, how you going to go find it? How would you know?
A wealth of knowledge in the palm of their hands. Like I say, if you can Google how many grams are in an ounce.
But what if you don't know that this is something that you need to look for? Like, who would know that there was 50 different types of art that a child could go and apply for at school? Like, if they ain't never told you that, and all of us went to school, when we went to school, there was only one art. That's it. Art.
Right about that.
You know what I'm saying? So there's opportunities that's out there. And I'm not saying, like, I agree with you totally when it comes to the mom thing. I was a single mom, so I get it, right?
But social media is changing all of that right now, because what you may not have had access to before because you lived in a podunk town, social media has put the world at everybody's disposal.
Not necessarily.
You get to see what's happening.
It's there. It's available for you. But
everybody is doing everything live on social media. We are watching history happen in front of us. You are able to see what somebody in Pennsylvania is doing right now. If you want to log into one of their lives, you're able to see what somebody in Africa is doing right now. You have everything, the entire world of knowledge in the palm of your hand.
It's true, but we ain't using it. We don't even know what we're using it for. So a lot of people don't even know what their phones is supposed to be utilized for.
Right. But
they thinking that you're supposed to pick it up in text or Snapchat or social media with it. And I get fussed at all the time because it's really for safety.
Yeah, but they wrong. But I saw all the black football and NBA players. They all should have walked off. And I'm sorry, walk off, you'll shut them down overnight, because they cannot make money when 71% of the talent walks off the field. So yeah, part of that I blame us, because we've never really stood together. And in all honesty, it gets harder and harder to stick together, but we never really have. But I wish we would just realize how much power we really have and stop allowing them to. I mean, because it's everything. They've been profiting off of us since we got here.
That's why they brought us
here. Life, everybody gets rich off of you, but you. Right. Everybody gets, even in the simplest of things, even in child support, everybody gets rich off of your child, but you. In the meantime, you're living in poverty for generations. But everybody is getting rich off of your children, but you. But yeah, so they was wrong for not standing up when Nike decided to cut Kyrie, because he didn't do anything. He posted a video. People share shit all the time. Trump was sharing shit that people disagreed with
all the time. Wait, what was the name of that guy that did the knee? Shoot.
Kaepernick.
Yes.
Yeah, they should have walked off then. They were wrong for watching him. They watched him get hanged. That's the only way I can say that. They watched him get hanged. And they're wrong for that.
Yeah,
So
there
yeah,
he is.
I challenge him too. I challenge him to walk off the courts in the field.
They
And
definitely.
in all honesty, Phil Knight ain't no damn stand-up guy neither. So that's another thing that pissed me off about how everybody is acting like, oh, well, he shouldn't have said that. He wouldn't have lost his deal. You got your Charles Barkley's and your Shaquille O'Neal's coming out speaking out in opposition to Kyrie, and they need to sit their little clown dressing up his women asses down some damn where. Because both of them didn't have on a wig and a dress.
Mm-hmm. On everything, every last one of them.
Phil Knight ain't no stand-up guy. So for you to be sitting up here talking about we need to get rid of him because we don't stand for this, and in all honesty, it's all media hype. Because if everybody else wasn't talking about this right now, you wouldn't have gave a damn that he posted that video. It would have just been something that happened on social media, and another moment took over that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so just a little bit of information about Nike. So let's go to the one where Nike got their logo from.
Let me take it. I delete the old one. Okay.
So everybody knows Nike. Everybody knows the Nike swoosh. That is a global brand, probably one of the biggest brands out there. Honestly, they're in the top 3. In my book, they're in the top 3. They're up there with Coca-Cola. Nike is a humongous global brand. So, but the swoosh, they actually paid $35 for the Nike logo. That global swoosh, all the money that they have made, they paid $35 for the Nike logo to the woman who actually designed it. Go ahead, Rox.
Savage. $35.
But I don't think that they were being savage, because what they did was actually really smart.
That's so crazy. Well, I mean,
but go ahead.
Yeah. So, this graphic designer Carolyn Davidson in 1971 designed the Nike swoosh, and they charged her. She charged them $35 for it. So she had met a guy in 1969 named Phil Knight, right? He was the professor at PSU who would go on to found Blue Ribbon Sports and then in turn Nike. So he knew that she was in search of extra money to take some oil painting classes. So he asked her to help him out on some projects at a rate of $2 an hour. So once he came up with the idea to strike out on his own and create his own brand of shoes, he asked her to help him come up with a stripe or image that he could put on the side of the shoe as a side job. And then she came up with the Nike swoosh. A check mark shape that's fluid indicates movement and speed. The image also resembles a wing and hinted at the brand name Nike after the Greek goddess of victory. So after some work on the logo, she handed the design over to Knight for $35. He launched his brand with the swoosh on the side, even though he said he didn't like it in the beginning. And then it became one of the most famous athletic shoe brands of all time.
You know why it's important to understand that he paid $35 for a Nike swoosh? Think about what the average Nike costs. What does an Air Max cost? What does a Jordan cost?
And
Nikes are in the hundreds of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Nikes. You can get a couple of Nikes in about maybe the $50 range, but for the most part, Nikes is $79, $89 and up. So, in all honesty, if we think about how much money our community has spent on any Nike apparel, whether it be shoes, gym shorts, whatever the case may be, if you think about what he paid for the logo, I wouldn't want to pay more than $35 for anything that had a Nike shit on it, because that's what you paid for the logo. I shouldn't be paying $350 for your shoes and you pay $35 for your logo.
Right.
But we are willing to go broke paying for Nikes, paying
Mhm.
$300-$400 for Jordans and all of that just to have on Nike apparel, just to be wearing a pair of Jordans, just for the clout, just for the hype, just to say,
Mhm.
oh, I got 17 pair of Jordans in the closet. But again, we so busy chasing not just rich, but chasing what rich looks like in our head because we see celebrities, and that's not what wealth looks like. And I want us to stop thinking about rich. But yeah, so he only
Yeah,
paid
because rich
$35 for
goes
that
away
swoosh.
very fast.
Right. Paid $35 for that swoosh. So the next
Now
time
you
you
can't
go out and
tell me
look at a
nothing.
Nike and you look at that price tag, just think about what he paid for that swoosh and think about how many billions of dollars he's raked in because of that Nike swoosh.
Off of
$35 for a logo.
off
Mhm.
of them melanated folks.
Let's talk. While we're on the topic of this logo, let's talk about the what do you
All
call
of it.
it?
The
The
tagline.
banter behind the logo.
It's the
That
tagline.
tagline.
Yeah,
Let's
so this is where
because
Phil
the
Knight loses
tagline for
his
me.
this is where
Mhm.
Phil Knight loses his morality for me.
No, it's just do it.
I mean, I mean, but really though, this how we doing it. This how we doing it. That's what we
Rude and
gonna do.
disrespectful.
But so this article right here comes from dailymail.com. And it's a UK article. Talks about how that famous slogan came to be, just do it. So apparently there was a murderer named Gary Gilmore. And he demanded the firing squad officers to pull the trigger on him and just do it. And that was the inspiration for Nike's famous slogan. Gary Gilmore was executed in a Utah State prison in 1977. He was apparently asking them to be killed quickly, but they kept delaying it. I'm sorry, delete it quickly, but they kept delaying it over and over and over again. So before the firing squad took off on his body was let's do it. So
his
that
words
is
of
where
hearing
they
his
decided to
last
take
words that he
those
heard
words.
was and the
What was
last
he
thing
saying, Nisi?
Yes.
no, I'm saying the last words that he heard was let's do it. And the last words that they heard from him was just do it. And he came out with this. Wow.
So in 2015, advertising executive Dan Wyden said that Gilmore's words had inspired him to dream up sportswear giant Nike's famous "Just Do It" slogan. He recalled how in 1988, just before a Crunch marketing campaign meeting with Nike bosses, he decided to suggest a slightly altered version of Gilmore's words as the firm's tagline, "Just Do It," which is still Nike's slogan to this day. Was first used in adverts that same year, has since been described as one of the biggest or the best taglines of the 20th century. Gilmore's case was also notable because the death penalty had been controversially reinstated in the U.S. in 1976, and the 36-year-old became the first to be executed under the new law. So, of course, since he was the first one executed, the story was kind of hot news.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, that it was. I don't know if it was televised, but it was hot news. So his final words were also printed on T-shirts, whilst his corners were donated within hours of his
it
death.
had to be because they put it.
Go ahead. What was that? Oh, Roxy, I think we lost you. But okay, so it's very interesting that all of a sudden Nike wants to drop Kyrie because they're saying because he posted this video, he's this. We don't stand behind that.
They donated his corneas. Oh my God!
Roxy, can you hear us, Rox? Okay. So it's funny how they want to stand on a moral high ground because of the video that Kyrie posted, and because he wouldn't follow that list of this is what you got to do before we let you play with us again. But yet and still, not only did you pay $35 for the Nike swoosh, and I'm not hating on him for that. What he did, he should have done. Matter of fact, anybody with a startup business
Yeah.
tip, anybody with a startup business, if you want to go get a logo, one of the things that you can do, because I considered this too when I was designing my logo, is go down to design school college, and they have boards up there where you can actually post that you want someone to design the logo, and you can say, hey, I'll pay you $200, blah blah blah. You got one of the tech kids that are sitting up there in school, a design graphic artist, and they're already using the most recent technology right here and now, and they're all for the most part hungry for money. So you don't have to spend all that money on a logo. You can go down to a university and actually get a college kid to do you a logo for you, maybe a couple $100 and you'll be straight. So I'm not mad at him for what he did. It was actually genius. I wish a lot more of us would do shit like that. But the idea that you want to stand on a moral high ground about what Kyrie did, and your entire Nike slogan came from a convicted deleter on death row, his last and final words.
And
But
they
we
took the
on
man's
a moral
eyeballs.
high ground.
And
But
they
that
took this man's
inspired you.
eyeballs. Is you not listening? They took his eyeballs. Like they took his eyes. Like who
But
does this?
he donated them. Yeah, he donated. I think he donated. Well, I don't remember, but yeah, he donated them, I believe.
That ain't what it said, but okay, they
What
could have.
did it
That's
say?
why it was That's why it was probably cut out an hour or less after he was put down. But
I'm saying,
Roxy, we cannot hear you.
on her phone.
I'm so mad.
Oh, we got you now.
Yeah, I think it was because of that thing. Her video and stuff was, I think it was all because she was trying to move and get it off. But yeah, what was you saying, sis?
No, I don't think you get to
I'm
sit
just
on the
over here
moral
like,
ground today. And I don't think too many people know that the whole entire Nike brand and slogan cost $35 and came from the mouth of a convicted murderer. And there you have Nike.
Mm-hmm. I bet you I wouldn't have took them eyeballs either. It's a no for me. What?
Yes, you do not believe. Yes, I really think he was telling us something when he was wearing that jacket. Don't believe the hype. Yes, I really think he
What
was telling us
jacket?
something back in the day. Mike Tyson.
What jacket?
Back in the day when he used to, before he goes to his fights and everything, he had on a jacket.
Well, hell, I don't remember.
Like you would see him just in his little, when they doing the little interviews on him. He also wear the same jacket.
Oh, I guess I never paid him no attention.
It's crazy because they all do. They believe in it. It's hard for them not to believe in it. So they believe in it. And they're so far in it that they can't see like, oh, wait a minute. If we stop supporting, if we stop doing this, the tables will turn.
Right.
They can't see that part.
Think about this. Okay, everybody remember 2020 C-19, right? So you know how anytime medication is being distributed to the public, you typically are going to see commercials, right? Especially when there's a new hot drug that's come out for this new knee problem that just came up yesterday. So did anyone notice that you did not see a commercial from Pfizer, from Moderna, or from Johnson & Johnson advertising the actual jab? Do you notice that? An actual paid for commercial.
Nah, they was paid for.
But you know what you did see? You saw a bunch of celebrities coming out in support of. So,
yeah.
And you know why they did that? Because when you decide to advertise to the public, there are laws in place that say you have to identify the risk. That's why at the end of those commercials, you always see what is it, side effects or blah blah blah. They be reading that shit real fast. Or it be in the fine print. So to avoid the fine print, if I just get Hollywood to come out and be in support of this, Hollywood can come out on their platforms and say whatever the hell they want to say. They don't have to disclaim or disclose anything. You saw a whole lot of that.
Mhm.
What you didn't see during a pandemic, you did not see Johnson & Johnson,
Mm-mm.
Moderna, or Pfizer with one commercial. Not one.
Nope,
You
they did.
saw a bunch of doctors, a bunch of celebrities, a bunch of news anchors. You saw a bunch of them coming out, a bunch of teachers, lawyers,
Then you have
politicians. You
CDC.
saw a bunch of them coming out.
CDC even did it. They even did their own commercials. Yeah, not the people
CDC
But the
that
came
were
out
CDC
not the
with
wasn't
people that were
pushing, but the
quote unquote
CDC
producing.
couldn't push. But the CDC can't push what I'm talking about for you to be a producer of medication. In order for you to have an advertisement to the general public, you have to
You have to do your
disclose
side
the
effects.
side
They didn't
effects.
but they
Exactly.
made it loud and clear during the news that they wasn't doing that. That's why CDC and them decided to do them commercials. That's why they would decide to do those. They had no problem doing those because it was quote unquote telling the public or telling us what's going on. So they allowed CDC to do it, but Pfizer,
So,
Johnson and
but
Johnson, and Moderna was not interested in doing an actual commercial for it because
it ain't that they
couldn't
was not
actually.
interested. They didn't want to have to disclose anything, just like they don't want to give up those
yeah,
documents.
that's not being interested. I don't want to give y'all the information, so I don't want to do it.
But
I ain't
don't just
interested in
say
that.
not interested like that, because that blows intent off, and we're not blowing off
Well,
intent.
the intent. Okay. Well, yeah,
Yeah, we ain't
they
blowing
didn't
off
want to. They
intent.
didn't want to
they
disclose.
have no intention
Right.
of
They
disclosing the
didn't.
side
They didn't want to
effects, okay?
disclose the situations.
Right. But
They
see,
just
that
wanted you
goes
to get
back.
it.
Now that goes back to the first story about the ex-record exec that said that he left the industry because he came out as a Republican. So it goes back to what I said. Does that not mean that the DNC has their hands in the Democratic? The DNC has their hands in the Hollywood pot.
They do.
Have to. It's all got to correlate at some point, somehow. They talked about that whole Menotti sacrificing, get rid of people, delete people just because they need to make space in the community, and you have to show your viability as important. It was a whole theory about how that's the reason why moms of celebrities are being deleted, and why other celebrities are being deleted at such a high rate.
I don't know. I just know it's a
Because they were
whole lot of
using that.
messery going on. A whole lot of fuckery going on, man. Okay.
How do y'all feel about, so have y'all seen that, I've seen on different platforms on social media that people are basically deciding now that they want to boycott Nike, or, how do y'all feel about that conversation that's happening right now?
Do y'all gonna jump back on the bandwagon anyways? Y'all so dang on confused. Y'all they do. They so damn confused. Like, damn. Y'all scared. You scared, go to church. But man, you just every time you turn around, it's I ain't gonna do that. Oh, I love my name brands. Oh, I bet I don't. I love my name brands. I can't go without my name brands. My name brands. Some of y'all people can barely spell them name brands. Balenciaga, y'all cannot spell that, but yes, y'all swear up and down y'all can afford it. Y'all cannot.
So
I feel like the best example is a personal one that they physically had to learn. That's the best learning lesson. Something that physically affected their pockets. It don't hurt.
When are they gonna physically learn it though? Are you talking about Nike?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
That's what I'm saying.
But
They're not unless we all decide that we're gonna come together collectively and make something shake. They're not gonna feel it. Like that's something that we have to do as a community. Come together and decide that we're not about to let them keep taking our money and playing us. Period. Injecting our community with all this negativity, messing with our kids, taking our money, not pouring it back into the community at all, not helping, not giving nothing back for real. They claim that they are helping, but I ain't never seen them come into the community and pass out no shoes to the kids at the schools or none of that.
Free shoes. Give up the free shoes. All them $100 pairs of shoes.
Casey Anthony.
They're not even giving up free time.
None of that. You ain't.
Nothing.
But yeah,
Nothing.
I don't know, Mr. Goodbread. I actually was watching. I actually read that Casey Anthony is a fool. They should have put that girl in where she should have been. And the fact that she blamed her father, it's her fault. She the mama. It was her fault. Now I don't know if he had something to do with it because she act like he had something to do with it. But at the end of the day, we all know that she did it, and the fact that she got away with doing it. And we all know she did it. It was a lot. But she
Why
did.
am I trying to remember that story? I know it, but
unmelanated girl. She decided to say, "Oh, I my baby. I can't find my baby." The parents was quote unquote saying, "We don't know what's going on," and then they start showing pictures of her hanging out, getting tipsy.
Oh, gotcha.
All of a sudden, she like, "Oh, well, I was stressed. Heifer, bye." You was living it up. You killed that. You go ahead and got rid of your baby, and you was trying to live your best life, boo boo. And they should have had her up under the jail. They should have put her in jail, but they gave her that privilege, and that's what got her up out of that situation. They gave her the privilege, and say, "Oh, she was just going through some mental." That's how they always get.
They always get
the mental thing. They get the mental thing before anybody else.
Right.
All the people that go through all the trauma in the world.
You know what's funny about that? I specifically recall Biden saying, "We don't care what kind of life they had, where they come from. The fact that they're criminals is all we need to know." So why is it all of a sudden when it's one of them, it's always about their background and their upbringing? But when it's one of us, nobody cares about that.
Exactly.
Unless we want to say we're wrong, then it's about our background and our upbringing.
Right.
If it involves drugs, it's about our background and upbringing. If it involves fatherlessness, it's about our background and upbringing.
If it help build their case against us, you better know it.
Say it.
Anything that's gonna help make us look worse than we already do is definitely gonna come to light.
That's the thing.
They find reasons
be
to
on point. Right. That's the thing. Most of our time, our situations be on point, hitting every little. You know what I'm saying? That whole story with Casey Anthony was full of crap. Oh, the girl cried. She fake cried. She pulled out tears. I don't know what she was doing. She could have been pinching herself, stabbing herself with her. I don't know what she was doing to pull out them tears, but she was faking tears left and right, and yet they believed her. Oh, it's mental. Oh, she's sorry. Oh, she don't know. Man, stop playing. If it was anybody else,
right?
Anybody else? She didn't know her baby was missing. She didn't know that they killed that baby.
Right. She knew she left that baby.
Hey, watch that word.
She knows she left that baby. She knows she did all that with that baby. She know what she did. And then my thing is, but the funny thing is, there was another situation that was very similar. But she was a melanated girl. And she in jail.
Always.
And they don't care about her mental. They don't care two craps about her mental. Even though somebody said that they believed that she was going through postpartum as soon as she had the baby. She was going through postpartum. They actually said she was going through the postpartum when she had the baby.
Don't matter.
But she don't even get recognition.
Don't matter. Her postpartum don't matter.
And I believe probably, I don't want to say somebody accidentally did it to their baby. I think she probably did it intentionally, but none the fact, old girl did too. She didn't get no time. This old girl about to sit in for how long? Is she gonna get the mental help though? Like, is she getting any type of mental help though?
Hold on. That's just like how you locking up Bill Cosby, but Epstein was running free.
Say that.
Man, I can't wait till tomorrow. What's
the other girl? Harvey Stein. Harvey Stein
was messing with grown women.
Right. What was Harvey Stein doing? Harvey?
The same thing Epstein was doing.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? You know what else is funny? So while we talking about, about what Ye said about, who owns all the contracts and all that stuff, right? They got their names in everybody's contract. That's another thing that I question when it comes to media. What do you always see in front of you? But what you didn't see a lot of? First of all, when is everybody going to get upset about the fact that we haven't seen this flight manifest? But you know what? You know what Epstein was. Epstein was a small hat too. So it's mighty funny that when it comes to shit,
Mm-hmm. They don't want to say nothing about.
because a lot of that, because those stories, the stories came out. I mean, they couldn't help but to come out. Stories
But they
came
pushed
out,
them
but
down
it
so
was almost as if they were kind of just swept under the rug, taken over by a story of stupid. What's her name over there, married to the prince? What's
Mm-hmm.
that word? Meghan Markle. Who gives a damn about a Meghan Markle when you got an Epstein running around?
Hello.
But that's what y'all flooded social media with.
Yo. The whole relationship and what was going on with them.
Yeah,
why is this? Why is that?
Yeah,
Bitch,
because it takes the focus off of what they don't want you to be talking
Right.
about for real. Okay,
Right.
I'm trying to
Right.
figure out is Epstein gonna get deleted after this movie come out? Because
I'm still
yeah,
waiting on that manifest. That's what I'm waiting on. But it's mighty funny how this Kyrie story is getting more play than Epstein ever got. Ever.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
yeah.
Oh yeah, she went to jail.
I didn't hear about that.
She went to jail, Mr. Goodbread. Man, she
like,
she
what?
went cuckoo for cuckoo puffs.
I didn't hear about that.
Man, she went
I'm
cuckoo
like,
for cuckoo puffs with her silly self, and they took her to jail. But the only reason why they did all that is because, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was also recorded. So it was like more evidence to her acting like this. So you know what I'm saying? Because if it wasn't recorded, it would have just been her word versus y'all. And look, she looks scared, so we're gonna take y'all to jail instead. So I think that was more of what that was. But that was totally that between. Listen, there's so much around this world that's going on, and they keep trying to put all this other BS in front of us and talk about a bunch of nothing
on purpose to keep you distracted.
Right.
I'm like, if y'all don't open y'all's eyes to who been telling the lies, who been doing what.
Hey, ladies.
All
it's just funny.
Yeah.
It's just funny what stories circulate and what stories get swept up under the rug. And I just cannot believe that we are sitting by watching them hang Kyrie. I can't believe we sat back and watched them hang Yeti. But we watched them hang Cap.
Oh yeah, you know they was going. Oh yeah, they
Right.
definitely was gonna let them hang. Yeah, because
And again,
yeah.
71% of the talent, 71% of the talent is us. 71.
say that. It's
And you
crazy.
think you don't have, and you think you
What it
don't have
makes-
no power?
Yeah.
They don't know what majority means.
Mm-hmm. Right. We
71%.
are the majority. We are the majority.
Not just that. We are the NFL. We are the NBA. Without us,
Period.
We are
We
the
are
sport.
the industry. Period.
We are the sports. We are the sports
That.
industry. Without us, there would be who would you have? Okay, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
but
There you go.
like I
And
said,
that's the truth.
how is the mentality behind the NFL contracts, the music industry contracts? How is that any different from what slavery is when they own your name, image, and likeness, and the only thing they are doing is profiting off of your labor? How is that any different? It just looked good because you got a $20 million contract, so it looks good.
It look good because you ain't being beat.
But
It look good because you ain't getting your ass whooped.
What's funny? The $20 million contract that you got is the same pennies you got during slavery, the same extra 2 crackers you got during slavery, because it was the difference in what they're generating and what they're handing down to you. So just because they put a $20 million sign on the contract, don't mean that shit's supposed to benefit us. But we so busy trying to be rich. And honestly, everybody with a $20 million contract ain't bringing home $20 million. Not even close.
Period.
But they make that shit look good on paper. And we think that because we see a few of us that make it in the NFL, the NBA, in the music industry, that's goals, that this is my way out of the hood. And in all honesty, you are perpetuating the hood behavior.
We got a lot of people that went broke.
Well, they want you to have that mentality. They want you to think that that's your way to freedom. It's really not your ticket to freedom. It's just your ticket to a different type of slavery.
That's
Hello.
facts, good bread. That's facts, good
They
bread.
say you're slaving for different masters at all times anyway. Whether you working for yourself, you're slaving for your bread, you're working for somebody else.
Right.
They just picked a different master. That's it. Oh,
I just want us to wake up and realize how what power we actually have. That's it.
That's why the South was so upset. That's why the South still to this day want to go back to having free labor. That's why they trying to push the agenda so hard. They want to go back
Hold
to
on. And that's why the slave owners got reparations.
yeah,
But we
because
can't
of
use
that. Because they got
That's
because they
exactly why
became broke.
slave owners got reparations when
They went bankrupt.
when slavery was abolished.
Mhm.
Slave owners got reparations when slavery was abolished.
Mhm.
But we can't get reparations. And we sitting back watching the
we out
pain
here
of
getting
our
locked
youth.
up and I have nowhere to live.
But we still sitting back watching the lynchings, watching the whips. We still sitting back watching it. Instead of
Yeah.
realizing it's 15 of us and only 2 of them.
Say that. Hello. They are the minorities.
Scared of
So
the bitch,
hold on. So was
worried about the
Kanye crazy?
wrong thing.
So hold on. So was Kanye crazy when he said slavery was a choice?
To a certain extent, absolutely.
Nope.
So, I think it was
Nope.
to a certain extent.
No.
Because you got to
No.
look at it.
He
You
was
got to
right.
look at it from all
Because
different
even when
sides.
we had the opportunity to become free after the fact, we didn't.
But hold
Okay,
up.
but
But hold up. The problem is, to me, the problem was then the same problem we have now. One, we don't realize how much power that we have,
right.
and we have always thought about the singular me and the current moment, and not generationally. And they've always thought about 100, 200 years down the road. We've always thought about surviving today. We have always thought about surviving today. And I get it. We've had a hard life. We had to survive a lot of todays. But that's how we've been conditioned to only think about today. And as long as we only think about today, you're never going to worry about trying to build generational wealth, because you can't see in the future. So you don't worry about what you can't see. But to me, I feel like he was right in saying that, not to say the first ones that came over here, but after the third generation set in, after you sat back and watched not only you, but your sons, their sons, their sons, your wives, or what used to be your wives, your sisters, your babies, everything gets stripped from you. For you to sit up here and realize it's 3 of them. It's 27 of us out here. And even like when they got freed. So they were so worried about the fact that they were going through a hunger spell right now. But what they didn't realize was that you all had already been manning all the lands. You guys knew exactly what it takes to start a plantation. I get it. Land wasn't hard. Land was hard to come by. I get it. But you had the knowledge if you were just willing to put up the fight. The reason why we never had the land is because we never put up the fight for the land. Because the Civil War, we didn't start that fight.
Everybody else
that was not our fight. It was our fight, but we aren't the ones who started that fight. We've never fought our own fight. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not an advocate for violence, but we never fought our own fight. So we were released from shackles, but we were released on the land that we could not own. So even though you're released, you're still not free to move freely. You're just released. I just can't call you a slave in name. And so because they still didn't want to do away with slavery, then they went to convict leasing. It's the same thing, because all they did was interject black codes, and now every black man is a criminal all over again. So I don't think that he was wrong. Not saying the first couple, but after we went through 4, 5, 6 generations, after you went through meritorious manumission, where we were telling on each other, where if we knew one was trying to get away, we would go, hey, massa, why? If you wanted to stay there, stay there. Why you got to be telling on me? So I think the same problem exists today. We've never known our true value, because if you think about it, back then in the 1700s, one slave could potentially be sold for $2,000, and slaves were typically sold 2 to 3 times in their lifetime. So in the 1600s, if you were worth $6,000 in the 1600s, you never really knew your own value.
Never.
You saw the picture they painted. You saw them painting us as slaves. You saw the shackles. You saw the beatings. You saw the bruises. You saw the families being ripped apart. And that vision of us, I believe, has impacted us negatively. But if you look at what they were actually paying for you, the fact that white men were willing to kill themselves to keep you, you got to realize how much power you have. You got to. But I don't think we've ever known that.
Mm-mm.
Never valued
No,
yourself.
we didn't.
Know that.
Right.
Never wanted to. Because my thing is, these
This
kids,
is what-
they
yeah,
still
like I
don't
can't.
read.
Mm-mm.
These adults, grown adults, to this day,
Watch you violate my
they
kids.
can't even read.
Oh,
So you choosing to not be able to read. Most people are choosing now
yeah.
not to get your ass whooped, and you can't do it because they won't allow you to. No, you are choosing not to pick up a book. You are choosing not to read.
And you know the worst part about that? There's a reason why they didn't want you to read. There's a very good reason why. It wasn't just because they wanted to keep you illiterate to keep you in chains.
No.
It's because they wanted to keep you illiterate so that you wouldn't know.
No.
I promise you, if you start picking up a book, you would be amazed at the secrets that are hiding between pages. You'd be amazed. Pick up a book. I recommend you start reading more, because there's a reason why you weren't allowed to read. There's a lot of secrets. A lot of secrets in those books.
The secrets to wealth and happiness.
Yeah, a lot of secrets in books.
All that good stuff.
Just like Kamala's book. Kamala wrote book. How many people in the Black community do you think would actually read Kamala's book? Just take a wild guess, percentage-wise.
A whole bunch of people in the Black community ain't picking up no books.
I think there's quite a few.
So,
I think about a good.
But
I think it's that would.
But what's funny about that is we're currently in an environment where we're fighting for democracy, right? And you got this whole idea about a so-called stolen election, right? But what's funny about that is every time you hear the DNC talk, they talk about that's not possible, that didn't happen, this was the most secure election of our lifetime or whatever. But what's crazy about that is in Kamala's book, Kamala writes in her book that she proved that those electronic voting machines could be manipulated. She proved it.
There was somebody that was hearing
But if you ask Kamala, was the election stolen? She'll tell you that's not possible. But she wrote in her book that she proved that it was possible. So you'd be surprised at the secrets that are hiding in between pages of books. Pick one up.
She must have proved it after somebody else proved it, because it was somebody else that actually proved it.
Let me tell you, there's another interesting thing. So before this whole election between Biden and Trump, you remember the 2016 election between Biden and Hillary? Hillary lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember there was this whole fiasco about a stolen election. The Democrats were saying he must have stolen the election because nobody believed Trump would have won an election, right? There was this whole talk about that. So shortly after that, there was a documentary that came out about Trump and the stolen election. So they basically threw everything at him about how the election could be stolen, how he stole it, all the Russian collusion, all of this stuff. There's a documentary about it. What's funny about that is when Trump turned around in 2020 and hollered stolen election, everything that he said was going on is the same shit they accused him of in 2016. So I'm like, hold on, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the election was stolen or not. I don't have no proof to say one way or the other. I do know that there was some suspicious activity going on, but I don't know if an election was stolen or not. But it's mighty funny that in 2016, for the Democrats to holler stolen election, and then for Kamala to write in the book that she proved that those machines could be tampered with, and for you to have a documentary about how Trump stole the election, everything that was in that documentary is basically what he accused them of doing. So I was wondering if he just used what they found out or what they claimed they found out about him and threw it back in their damn faces. But it's funny how you can go from you stole it in 2016 to all of a sudden in 2020, oh, that's not possible. The hell do you mean it's not possible? You said it was possible in 2016.
Hell, you said it was
That's the
possible
part-
every year.
that's
They
the
all
part I
say
got
it's
a problem
possible
with.
every year.
That's the
Every
part I got a
election, they
problem with.
always say it's somebody stole something. Every election, they always claiming somebody has stole something. But I totally agree because we're still stuck on what? A democracy. And we have always been what? Republicans. When the hell did we switch over? When your grandma
Voting
told you to
straight-
switch over?
Voting
Somebody
straight
told
Democrat
them.
is a generational curse in the Black community. It is a generational curse. I guarantee
The
you,
slave
every
owners must
40-year-old
have been
Democrat.
what? The slave owners was what?
I guarantee you, every 30-plus-year-old Democrat who's always voted Democrat, especially straight line Democrat, is only Democrat because his parents were Democrat. His
I know
grandparents were Democrat. You grew up in a Democrat house because Black folks are Democrats. It's a generational curse. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go out there and support our Republicans because a lot of them are full of shit too. You need to watch who you're voting for. There may be a couple of
Period.
Democrats that are worth voting for, but to vote straight Democrat just because you've been conditioned to is a generational curse.
Y'all have to
Because
pay
they are
attention.
some of the most evil. And what's funny about that is the rights that we got today, even though they're not many and they're hidden under a whole lot of other obstacles and bullshit. But what we do have today has pretty much happened under Republican president. We were free under Republican president. You got the right to vote under Republican president. With another thing, Black community, when are we going to realize that we do not have a permanent right to vote in America? They keep renewing our right to vote. And another thing about that has been renewed 4 times in history. All 4 of them were Republican presidents. Not one Democrat has renewed your right to vote. And you currently have a Democratic president right now talking about democracy is at risk. And he's not talking about the idea of giving the Black community the permanent right to vote in America so that you don't have to continue to renew our right to vote.
Hello, sister girl. Ain't you the melanated one? In the office, do something. Lift up a finger. Start ramming some damn paperwork and be like, hey, I want to vote this shit out. I don't like this.
They're not even talking about it. But
my whole thing is, sister girl, what you doing in there?
Was done under Republican president. When the hell did we become Democrat?
That's what I'm stuck on.
And what have they done for you?
When it's time to really,
I was talking to this guy.
They say that there's more issues need to be addressed.
Go ahead, Rox. I'm sorry.
That's right. Oh no, I was just saying that every time it's time to address those issues that we're speaking about, they just say that they have other more pressing issues to discuss, and they'll get back to those later. That's
Ain't
all.
no more pressing.
Oh, we've got to talk about climate change.
Don't have a time to vote.
We got to talk about. But right, we got to talk about the water in Flint. We've got to talk about all of these other things, right? That they still ain't fixed yet, because that water in Flint then actually rolled over into Toledo, and now
who live in Flint?
It's bad.
Who live in Flint?
A whole bunch of melanated folks.
Right, but I was having a conversation with a guy, and he had made a statement about he didn't understand because Trump announced the fact that he was running for presidency in 2024. What was it? Day before yesterday. And so he had made a statement that he didn't understand how somebody with so many trials going on could actually run for president. I said, well, first of all, until he's been convicted and found guilty, which he has not. He's innocent until proven guilty, none of which has happened. I said, so until that day comes, all of what you're seeing on TV is nothing but DNC political media propaganda. It's just a media circus right now. That's all it is. Because if he's guilty of what you say he's guilty of, that means a sitting president invoked an insurrection, which is akin to treason, if he's sitting in jail.
That's what I said. What in the world is we talking about?
All this other shit that you're talking about doesn't matter to me, because if you can have a sitting president that gets away with actually inciting an insurrection, everybody else needs to be released from prison. Everybody needs to be released from prison, because you cannot tell me that crime is any less egregious than what you got some of our folks sitting in jail for. So for me, it's all just a political circus until you put this man behind bars. As long as he's not behind bars, hey, whatever happens, happens. But so then he goes into this whole thing about, this whole Democrat thing. I was like, well, you know what? And Obama, I said, well, you know what? Obama really didn't do anything for us. I said, and you can dislike the man that Trump is all day long. I get it. He's not my favorite person either. You can dislike the man all day long. I said, but he did more to benefit the Black community than Obama did. He had more money going to HBCUs, and he also addressed recidivism with the First Step Act, which impacts us the most. I said, so tell me what Obama did that's at that magnitude. Because I specifically remember Obama saying, when asked why he wasn't doing anything for the Black community, that he said he wasn't the president of the Black community. So are you the president of the LGBTQ community? Because you did something very specific for them. Very specific. And is Biden the president of the Asian American and Island Pacific community? Because you did something very specific for them. But it's mighty funny how Democrats always want to run on racial divide, but they never want to address race once they get in office.
Say that. Nobody ever want to point the finger when it's time for them. They looking like, oh, no. Let's figure out something else. Oh, look at how them people are killing each other. Oh, look at that fight in the crimes over here. Oh, we're in a war.
Check this out. So when I said that, check out what his response was. So he said, well, Obama is the only president that ever did anything for me that I could physically feel. And I said, well, what was that?
What did he do?
So check this out. He talks about legalizing marijuana.
Boy, if you sit your ass down.
I said, well, first of all, sir, legalizing marijuana just because you can smoke it freely does absolutely nothing as long as there's a Black man locked up behind bars on marijuana charges. So you release every criminal behind bars on marijuana charges, I don't give a damn that Johnny Doo-Wop can smoke a blunt in his house right now. That doesn't matter to me.
Exactly.
You gotta release everybody from prison first. So that's bullshit. I said, and then not only that, I said, so what you're telling me is that your own personal desires are more important than the collective. That's what's wrong with us today, because you can smoke freely. Period. Obama's a great president, but what about what Biden has done? I said, y'all want to sit up here and worry about surface racism because Trump said some shit that sounds racist. Okay, I get it. Yeah, Trump is a racist, but so is Biden. Let's just be clear about that.
He outright racist. He like, listen, don't like that, so what?
But if you're going to be upset with the words that came out of Trump's mouth, how can you not be equally upset with the actions that Biden took that got most of us incarcerated? That got you losing your right to vote, that got you part of convict leasing. How can you not be upset? Not to mention corporal punishment Kamala, who didn't want to have the early release in California for the ones who had little to no risk of recidivism. She was like, nah, that's going to impact free and cheap labor. That means you support convict leasing. That means you support slavery.
Yes, she does.
Exactly what that means.
Have her ass in the house having babies and shit. That's what they're going to do to her now.
So, yeah, I just wish one day we would wake up and realize how much power we actually have. I really wish we would.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Get roach free and realize your value.
There's a lot of people that's incarcerated.
Know your worth.
Marijuana.
Clean out the closet.
There is many, and that's why they can't get a good job now.
Like, but the fact that they would make that statement just goes to show that we are only concerned about us, and we never think about the collective. We never think about generations. We just worried about, well, what I can do, how much fun I can have right now. And we'll always be where we are if we don't stop thinking about just right now, trying to enjoy this moment right now.
So, man, I knew an old cat. He was actually in and around those Southern times back in the day when they wasn't doing right to melanated people, and and he was in the South, and he always got a lot of things to say about them unmelanated modern people.
Hold on, let me just give a shout out to the best moderator in all of YouTube. Thank you, Gail. I don't know how Gail does it. Gail like moderates like 57 channels at one time. I promise you, I don't know how that woman does it, but she is the best mod in all of YouTube. For real. So appreciate you, Gail.
Oh, everything. Thank you, Miss.
Thank you,
For
thank
sure.
you.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and I think
We
the
got
DNC
some-
is
we got
heavily
some-
impacting Hollywood. Huh?
Oh
But
no,
yeah,
I was
they-
just
they
saying we got some
heavily
good partners
impacting-
here. I was
Go
Party
ahead,
and
Rod.
mm-mm. No, I was gonna say something we're gonna talk about during the meeting.
Oh, party and bullshit. Hey.
Just getting a list together. Ah!
What you laughing at?
Me keep
I'm
talking.
laughing because I be struggle streaming.
Oh,
You don't even know how hard I was just over here pushing this button and nothing was happening.
Oh Lord. She
Yeah.
goes streaming.
I was having a whole moment, okay? She said party or bullshit came up. I couldn't get it to stop saying please
Oh.
like, share, subscribe, support. There you go. That's right there.
That's all
There
we
you go.
want to
Look.
because we worried about the rich. If we can't be rich, we want to look rich.
That's dumb. Don't be rich. Rich is fade. Be
Right.
wealthy.
But yeah,
Period.
but they got a hand. It benefits the Democrats for you to be all in your emotions when you running down there to the polls, and they feeding Hollywood all that bullshit you think you believe is hot. That's all I'm saying. Everything you consume on TV is the shit they want you to consume on TV. But I'm telling you, it's a lot of dirty secrets hidden in between books. Pick up a book. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. It's a lot of dirty secrets.
For sure. Wait a minute. Hold on. Because it's got it.
Okay. So
Them doggone pearls. I heard one more person talk about them doggone pearls.
first of all, I went through three emotions when I heard she was named Queen of the Manosphere. First, I couldn't believe that the so-called Manosphere was actually entertaining throning a female of any race. That's first. After that, I didn't know, or I felt like it was a slap in the face to Black women, because there is a lot of discord now between Black men and Black women, and I get it. A lot of us are just hanging out the window with our ratchet ass friends, so I get it. But for the fact that you did name one, there are so many melanated women that actually believe what you believe in as well, and the fact that she was the one that got the spotlight. To me, it felt like it was an intentional slap in the face to Black women, because we'll let a woman in this space, but it won't be you. That one kind of, I was like, okay, that's a little, that to me, that was a little crazy. But the worst part for me was the fact that we celebrated the idea of somebody coming into our spaces and what we create, taking our creation and capitalizing on it. And we applauded that shit. So all she's done is basically take everybody else's talking points in the manosphere. Of course, she's being pushed up higher in the algorithms. And don't get me wrong, she does have a very nice studio. So I get it. She had the money to do things right. That was one of the reasons why KS did so well. He had the money to do things the right way. And a lot of people are still just filming from their closet on an iPhone. So, I mean, it just is what it is. You pay for a particular ambiance. So that's what that was. So, but for me, it was the idea that this and another wonderful person coming in and capitalizing off of our blood, sweat, and tears, something that we created. And not only did we accept it, but we applauded it and we put it on a pedestal. So what we had that was supposed to be us, when we realized, and I've been telling them, when I first got on YouTube, I was telling everybody, they listening to y'all. We finally got the microphone. Make sure you give them something valuable to listen to. But we put her on a pedestal. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that won't have a benefit, because as long as you're pushing our argument, then if that's how we have to back alley what we want, this movement that we want, then hey, do what you got to do. But for me, because I know we're not intentionally doing that, I can't applaud that.
Right. We're not riding the coattails to freedom the way that they do us. Okay.
Right. So that's
not
what
at
it
all.
was for me.
We just
right. And she capitalized on it, because you got to think about it. She a trust fund baby. She had an upper leg in life.
Mm-hmm.
But we put her higher up on the pedestal off of our talking point. So again, our blood, sweat, and tears. But not only did they come and take it, we applauded it and we put it on a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I felt about that. Hey, but if she got to drive us across the finish line, go for it. Do you? But I know that they didn't. I don't think that they intentionally did that. So I can't pat them on the back for it. That's just, to me, that's residual.
Right.
That's just residual rewards. You don't have to be the intended recipient to get a residual reward. And I'm tired of us accepting residuals.
So you don't want your participation award? That's what you're saying?
You know I don't do participation awards.
Not at all. Either you win or you lose.
Okay. What did Flo say? Sprinkles are for winners.
Sprinkles
are for winners. That's what Flo said. And I applaud that.
Oh, yes, she did. Now I remember the commercial. Yes, she did. She said sprinkles are for winners. She kept it so real. Like, she did take it back. Like, awesome. You didn't win. What are you talking about?
Right.
She was so real with that. Yes, I love her.
I support that message.
I gotta go back to this, because we definitely always talking about this keeping your friends close and your enemies closer. Making sure that you monitor your enemy activity, right?
I agree with that.
Right.
Because if you're not,
it's tough though. Because now in this day,
but if you're not studying your enemy, how do you know that they ain't moving on you? The reason why
that's always an assumption.
The reason why we've been able to be in the situation that we're in is because they've been studying us forever. We've never studied them. They've been studying us. They've been conducting studies on us our entire lives. That's why they can push the DNC talking points in front of you and get you off in your motion, because they know you. They know how to trigger you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all the management that she's doing, she get more views than all of them combined. But we put her on a pedestal, and she bringing in them real YouTube checks. But we put her on a pedestal.
I just need her to say our name one time on her show. Say our name one time, girl.
I need us to realize our value. That's what I need. I need us to realize what our worth is. Because if we did, that wouldn't have happened.
Yes, definitely that.
If we did, it wouldn't have happened.
That's true. Definitely that for sure. But what I'm saying is melanated and candid. That's all.
What?
She can say it. She could say it out loud. She could say it on her YouTube channel. That's all I'm saying. Melanated and candid.
Hey, go over there.
She gonna hear about this show.
Go over there.
Hear about this show soon.
I've watched her show a couple of times. I've tuned into her show. They find her all over the country, all over the globe. And we put her on the pedestal. I'm not mad at her though. I'm not mad at all. I'm mad at us.
Right. As you should. It is well-deserved madness because we do not. We don't know. We don't do better when we do know better. We just don't.
Right. Hey, but
we
we
just
gonna
be
cover
content
that,
with being out here.
right? Hey, but we're gonna cover that. Keep your
What?
enemies close next week.
Mm-hmm. Because we
Yeah,
definitely
for
gonna
sure.
cover that. Because we on so many different levels. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do on so many different levels. There's so many different levels we got to cover on that. Like so many different stories. Let me say it that way. So many different
Listen.
stories, which has so many different levels of how you would keep your enemies. You know what I'm saying? Keep your friends close, keep your enemies close. Just watch everybody. Forget it. Just keep an eye on everybody. Have your
You
head
should
turned like
always
an owl.
be aware of your surroundings.
Everybody.
Period.
Because nowadays,
Not
it's
aware. Like it's like
period.
my thing is on top of that, you got to be aware, but you got to be able to. Not everybody is your friend. You got to, just because
Period. That's all I'm
First of
saying.
all, we
not
have
everybody
used
your
that
friend,
term.
and I'm not one to keep everybody as my friend. Like I might
We
call
don't
you.
use that term too loosely. That's the problem. We don't understand that there are levels to people.
Yes, that's what it
I
is.
got 3
Like,
friends,
There's levels
but
in general to it.
I know hundreds of people. They associates, they business partners, they people I work with on this, they people I consult with on this. I have a lot of associates. I got 3 friends. Everybody don't get, just because you met somebody, went to the club with them last week and y'all had a good time, that is not your friend.
That is
Unless y'all go through some shit, that is not your friend. Stop throwing that term around so loosely.
period.
Everybody ain't got your best interest at heart.
Period. Because
And some people real good at playing nice.
play nice, fake.
Period. You see how they set that girl up and then got her over there acting like they her friend and then killed her and left her over there for dead? Man, listen. Man, and then the stuff that came out about Kanika Jenkins, the real that came out about her, because she did not end up putting herself in that freezer. She did not fall in that freezer.
Oh yeah, the girl that fell and
went
to sleep in the freezer. All of a sudden, she lost where she was going and ended
with
up
her friend.
That story was bullshit. But just like that Tamala, that Tamala Han, I forgot what her last name. I know it starts with an H. The black woman that ended up dead when she was at that sleepover with all those wonderful people.
Oh, well, that was just
end up in the backyard. Yeah, you end up in the backyard. Y'all better watch who y'all get close to.
You go to sleep and you don't even wake up. Homegirl set up. That ain't no homegirl. Them ain't even your home peoples. Them is not your peoples, man.
But sometimes
I was so upset watching that video. Y'all,
but it's so many of them.
I could not see straight.
There's so many of them. We need to really, like, honestly, y'all got to pay attention. Because remember, not even that one. It was another one when the old girl decided to hang out with her homies and the old girl decided to shoot her. Like, what? You too pretty, obviously. I need to get rid of you. Like, you too pretty. Like, we can't even hang out together because you might catch all the guys. I don't know what you, like, it's so much jealousy. It's crazy. Like, you just can't be happy for somebody else just in general. You just can't just be like, oh, you good. I'm happy for you. And be genuinely happy for somebody. It's hard. I know. I don't know why y'all be letting the devil at y'all.
That's real. But I'm going to tell you, next time I'm definitely going so when we get into it next week, I'm definitely going to show these videos and show y'all the real about what happened with these young girls and how you definitely to make sure. What about your friends? Period. Make sure you keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Right. We got to talk about
you got
for sure.
Yeah. You got to know your enemies too, because they're the ones moving on you. Well, your friends are too, but that's because you don't know how to identify enemies.
Yo.
That's why your friends moving on you.
Yo, but that's okay. We're gonna highlight
that part.
Show.
Yeah. So definitely thank you guys for coming out and joining us. We appreciate you as usual. It's been a beautiful day. We've learned a lot of different things. We talked about a lot of different topics and learned about how the music and the sports that we listen to every day influence us and how they are not benefiting our community. They're only hurting us and manipulating our people. So definitely come back and check us out again next week. We'll be here again on Thursday, every Thursday. And yeah, until next time.
Know
Guys,
your
have a
worth.
great evening. That's right, Miss Gail, frenemies.
Okay,
Frenemies.
but know your worth. That's my wish for the Black community. Know your worth.
For sure. Please know your worth and act like it. Because it's the one
Okay.
thing to know, but it's a whole nother thing to act. For sure. And then if you guys are watching later on, definitely drop it in the chat if you think everything is a choice. We definitely appreciate you guys coming out. Yes.
Kanye's not crazy. That's all I'm saying. Kanye's not crazy.
He is definitely not at all. Not at all.
Appreciate that, good bread.
But all right, y'all. Until next, we appreciate it. We appreciate y'all.
Y'all have a good night.
Yes.
Toodles.
Y'all have a good evening.